There's a version of your life where you've paid off all your debt, where you've quit your 9 to 5, where you're working from a coffee shop on the beach or your back porch or wherever the hell you want, because your schedule is yours and your income doesn't depend on showing up to someone else's office. That life exists. It's available. People are living it right now. And the thing standing between you and that life, it's probably not your technical skills. It's not your lack of experience. It's not the market or the economy or the algorithm. It's you. More specifically, it's the voice inside your head telling you that you're not ready, that you're not qualified, that somebody's going to find out that you actually don't know what you're doing. That's imposter syndrome, and it's costing you everything. So in this video, I'm going to break down what's actually happening when you feel like a fraud, and I'm going to show you how to override it. Not with positive affirmations, not with just believe in yourself nonsense, with actual research and real strategies that work. And I'm going to share 2 stories from my own life to prove that this isn't just theory. I've lived it multiple times, and it's changed the entire trajectory of my career. And if you want to land your first or next AI client, you can take part in the 4-week challenge inside of my free school community of like-minded people, where you'll find a free course that's honestly better than most paid courses out there, and you'll get direct one-on-one access to me for whatever questions you may have. The link is down below. Let's dive in. Okay, so first, let's talk about what's actually happening inside your brain when imposter syndrome kicks in. There's a social psychologist named Amy Cuddy. You might know her from one of the most watched TED Talks of all time. She's a professor at Harvard Business School, and she's spent years researching how our bodies affect our minds. Here's what she found. Your body language doesn't just affect how other people perceive you. It changes how you perceive yourself. It actually changes your hormones. In one of her studies, she had people hold either high power poses, think standing tall, hands on hips, taking up space, or low power poses, hunched over, arms crossed, making yourself small, just for 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, the people who held the high power poses showed increased testosterone and decreased cortisol. Testosterone is associated with confidence, and cortisol is the stress hormone, so they felt more confident and less stressed. And the people who held low power poses, opposite effect. More stress and less confidence. And here's the kicker. After the poses, each group did a mock job interview. The power posers performed significantly better, not because they knew more, because they showed up differently. They carried themselves with more confidence, more presence, more certainty. Think about what this means for you as an AI builder. When you're about to get on a sales call and you're hunched over your laptop, shoulders tight, already mentally rehearsing all the ways you might screw this up, you're not just feeling nervous. You're chemically priming yourself to underperform. You're literally changing your hormone levels in a way that makes you feel less confident and more stressed. Your body is lying to your brain, and your brain believes it. But here's the flip side. You can use this the other way around. You can use your body to tell your brain a different story. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Lindsay, are you telling me to do power poses before my sales calls? That's a little ridiculous. Yeah, maybe it is. But you know what's more ridiculous? Staying broke because you were too proud to stand like a superhero in your bathroom for 2 minutes. Amy Cuddy has this phrase that I love. She says it's not fake it till you make it, it's fake it till you become it. That distinction matters. Fake it till you make it implies that you're doing something deceptive, like you're tricking people into thinking that you're something you're not, and eventually you'll get caught. Fake it till you become it is different. It means act like the person you're becoming before you feel like that person, and through repetition, you actually become them. The competence becomes real, and your identity shifts. This isn't woo-woo, this is neuroscience. Neural pathways form through repetition. The more you practice being confident, the more confident you actually become. And I can tell you from personal experience that this works. Let me take you back to when I was 19 years old, literally an infant, working at Blockbuster. At that point in my life, I was painfully shy, introverted to the extreme. I literally couldn't even look people in the eye. The idea of walking up to a stranger and starting a conversation made me want to crawl out of my own skin. So one Friday night, my boss comes up to me and says, "Lindsay, I need you to cover Frank's break." Frank was the entertainment specialist. That was this position where you wore a bright red apron so everyone could see you, and then basically walked around the store during peak hours trying to cold call everyone, bring upsells, pitching promotions, making recommendations, all without being asked. For an introvert, that job was literally my worst nightmare, but my boss was telling me to do it, and it was my job, so I felt like I literally had no other option. I put on the red apron and something clicked in my brain. I thought to myself, almost unconsciously, What would someone extroverted do right now? What would someone with total confidence do in this situation? Someone without fear. And then I just became that person for 10 minutes. I walked up to customers. I made recommendations. I pitched the promotions. I smiled. I looked people in the eye. I acted like someone who had done this 1,000 times. When those 10 minutes were over, I felt like I had been hit by a truck. It was exhausting and completely foreign. Every part of it went against my natural instincts. But here's the thing. I did such a good job that my boss started scheduling me as the entertainment specialist every Friday and Saturday night for months. And over those months, something changed. By practicing that persona, by repeatedly acting like someone confident and outgoing, that persona stopped being a performance. It integrated into who I actually was. I became someone who is outgoing, extroverted, competent in social situations. The task didn't get easier. I adapted to it. And eventually it felt natural and normal. That's fake it till you become it. That's what Amy Cuddy is talking about. And that's what's available to you. Now let me tell you another story that's a little higher stakes. A few years later, I was still working in retail, first at Blockbuster, later at Borders. I had a college degree in psychology and no corporate experience to speak of. A friend of mine was leaving her position at BlackRock, which is the largest asset management firm in the world, to go and help open the Singapore office. And she encouraged me to apply for her role. BlackRock, with my resume, psychology degree, retail experience. That was it. To say that I felt imposter syndrome would be a bit of an understatement. I remember sitting outside of my friend's apartment the night before the interview. She was helping me prep for it. And I was on the phone with my mom, literally sobbing. I told her I felt like everyone would know, that they would see right through me, that I was just this piece of trash that didn't deserve to breathe the same air as these people. Who was I to walk into BlackRock and pretend like I belonged there? But I had already committed. The interview was already scheduled. So I did the same thing that I did at Blockbuster. I decided to fake it till I became it. And I went into that interview and crushed it. I showed up confident, prepared, and present. I acted like someone who belonged in that room, even though part of me was screaming that I didn't. And I literally almost threw up in a trash can before my interview because I was so nervous. But I crushed it so hard, in fact, that the hiring managers pushed my employment through despite a company-wide hiring freeze at that time. They made an exception for me. And you know what happened once I started that job? I wasn't horrible, I wasn't exposed as a fraud, and I certainly was not the weakest link. I brought unique experiences and perspectives to that role, things that people with traditional finance backgrounds didn't have. I got promoted. I was respected by everyone I worked with. I ended up training new team members and even people from other groups, because I became so knowledgeable about my role and how they connected to different groups at the firm. I stayed at BlackRock for almost 7 years, all because I decided to act like someone who belonged before I felt like I belonged. And here's why I'm telling you these stories. Because of those experiences, Blockbuster, BlackRock, and countless others, I had proof. Not proof for clients, but proof for myself. Proof that I could do more than I thought that I was capable of. So when the time came to make the transition to AI consulting, did I feel imposter syndrome? Absolutely. That voice was still there. Who are you to charge $5,000 for this? Who are you to call yourself a consultant? But I had evidence that that voice was a liar. I had done it at Blockbuster at 19 when I was terrified to talk to strangers. I had done it at BlackRock when I was convinced that I was going to be exposed as a fraud. And I had done it countless other times in between. Every single time, the fear said I couldn't. And every single time, I did it anyway and became the person who could. And that's the lesson that I want you to take from this. We can do damn near anything that we decide to do. Not anything that we feel ready for, not anything that we've endlessly prepared for, anything that we decide to do and then actually do. The confidence doesn't come first. It never comes first. And it definitely doesn't come from watching one more tutorial or reading one more book or waiting until you feel ready. It comes from taking action. It comes from doing the thing. And then, and only then, does the confidence show up. It's action first, confidence second, always. So here's what I want you to understand. The imposter syndrome that you're feeling right now, that voice that's telling you that you're not ready, that you need more experience, that you need to learn more before you can charge real money or call yourself a consultant, that voice is lying to you. It's not protecting you, it's keeping you stuck. It's keeping you in that 9-to-5 that you want to leave. It's keeping you checking your bank account before every purchase. It's keeping you from the life that you actually want. And the way through it isn't waiting until you feel confident. The way through is acting confident before you actually feel it, and then trusting that that feeling will catch up. Let me tell you where this shows up for AI builders specifically. It shows up before sales calls. You're hunched over, nervous, over-preparing, because you're terrified that they'll ask you something that you don't know. It shows up when you're pricing your services. You undercharge because who am I to charge $3,000 for something like this, even though you know that the value is there. It shows up when you compare yourself to people with computer science degrees or 10 years of development experience. You think you're not a real developer, so you can't charge real prices. It shows up the first time you call yourself a consultant. The word feels fake in your mouth, like you're lying. And here's the truth. The first time that you say, I'm an AI consultant out loud, it's going to feel weird. It may even feel like a lie. The 10th time, it feels a little bit more natural. The 50th time, it feels true. That's not deception. That's growth. That's your identity catching up to your actions. So here's what I want you to do. First, start paying attention to your body. Before sales calls, before pitches, before any high-stakes conversation. Are you making yourself small, hunched over, arms crossed? Change it. Stand up. Take up space. Do the power pose if you have to. It sounds silly, but the research is real, and it works. Second, reframe what faking it means. You're not pretending to be something you're not. You're practicing being who you're becoming. Every action you take as a confident consultant makes you more of a confident consultant. That's how identity works. Third, act before you feel ready. This is the big one. Stop waiting for the imposter syndrome to go away before you take action. It doesn't work like that. Confidence comes from action, not before it. You have to do the thing that scares you, and then the confidence shows up. The life you want, the debt paid off, the 9-to-5 gone, the freedom to work from anywhere. That life is on the other side of acting like the person who deserves it. Not waiting until you feel like you deserve it, acting like it now. You're the only thing standing in your way, and now you know how to get out of your own way. So, if you want to land your first or next AI client, you can take part in the 4-week challenge inside of my free school community of like-minded people, where you'll find a free course that's honestly better than most paid courses out there, and you'll get direct one-on-one access to me for whatever questions you may have. The link is down below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.